It's another beautiful day, and welcome to Newshub on Silverbird Television. My name is Wilson Omoni, and as ever, Zika Onuma is here with me.
Yes, today is the 30th day in December 2019, one more day to the end of the year, and we are live right here, so you can watch us on any of your devices. And we've been counting down to the end of the year, and finally, the end of the year is barely less than 48 hours from now.
I can't wait for the next year, Zika. It's going to be an absolute fantastic year.
I can't wait, actually. I can't wait because I need to take my time and plan what I intend to achieve at least in the first quarter of 2020.
Speaking of 2020, there's going to be a lot of interesting things, particularly in Edo State. Looking at the tussle between the governor and the former governor, who is now the national chairman of the party, APC, talking about Adams Oshiomhole and Godwin Obaseki. It's quite an interesting, actually, spectacle for most of us in the media, just seeing what is going on there between the governor and the former governor.
2020 holds a lot for Edo State because the election will take place in 2020, barely a few months, from now. And then it seems like the APC's house is not tidy in Edo State. It sounds ironical that the national chairman of APC has been suspended from Edo State APC chapter.
Meanwhile, he's still the national chairman of the party.
Yeah, and the governor of Edo State, Godwin Obaseki, has said that the national chairman ought to apologize, otherwise he remains suspended in Edo State. So it's quite laughable and ironic at the same time when the national chairman of a party is suspended in his own hometown. But let's take a quick break. When we come back, we'll be joined by a guest who is not accidentally, he is from Edo State, and we'll talk more on
coincidentally from Edo State, yes.
We'll be right back. Okay, accidentally, sorry. All right, welcome back. Like we said earlier, today we're taking a look at the Edo State politics, what has been bedeviling Edo State, especially between the national chairman of the APC, Adams Oshiomhole, and the governor of Edo State, Godwin Obaseki. For some months now, there has been a rift between the two factions. And as it is today, Adams Oshiomhole has been suspended from the state chapter of the party, Edo State. And according to the governor of Edo State, Adams Oshiomhole should apologize to the party in Edo State before he's reintegrated into the party. But for more analysis on this, we've been joined by Eshomomo Imodu, who is the editor-in-chief, Silverbird News 24. You're welcome.
When they say editor-in-chief, it's not. But
not the paper type.
No, not the paper type.
But,
from you being an Edo man, how does this perceived to you, I wouldn't want to call it rivalry between the governor and the national chairman of the party in the state, having this much squabble? You would expect that the All Progressives Congress, having a very important election coming next year, would be on the same page ahead of that particular period. How does this seem to you as a man of the soil, talking about Edo State?
Yeah, I think it's not just about Edo State, and it's not just about APC. It's about Nigeria. It's a Nigerian problem, and what you see playing out in Edo State has played out in several other states. And even before now, let's go back to even the PDP. In those days in the PDP, most governors never wanted to have the national chairman of their party from their state. Because of this overbearing attitude, the national chairman will want to lord it over. And you see, whether it's written or we just take it like that, governors are seen as leaders of the parties in the state. And when you have a national chairman from your own state, there's a tendency that the national chairman might want to lord it over. So most governors never wanted it. So seeing that play out in Edo State is just one of those things. We saw it in 1999. We saw it in several other elections in Nigeria. So let's not just say this is an Edo problem. But unfortunately, we thought APC came in with a change. They changed mantra. So we wanted to have things being done differently from what it used to be in PDP.
The reason why we say we are focused on Edo State is because we have seen Adams Oshiomhole himself have his own tussle with the leadership of the party when he was governor in Edo State. And now we are seeing the same thing playing out now that he is the national chairman, knowing fully well what the governor would be going through, and yet it still seems like no one is willing to back down for the other.
Yeah, you see, it's all about the control, seeking to control the structure in the state. And if we go by what is written in the media, what we hear in the media, it's like some forces never wanted the governor to go for a second term. Probably they said he has offended the powers that be. Now the question is, who controls those forces? Now, so I had you the other time when you were discussing with your colleague, you talked about the fact that a national chairman suspended. But you see, everybody joined the party from the ward level. Nobody joins a party from the top. So you're first of all a member of a ward.
From the ward.
From the ward to the local government, to the state, before the national. So it's very it's very important you take into cognizance that fact that yes, if at the ward level they say we suspended him, it carries a lot of message. Now they might not at the end of the day be able to take him out of office. But you see, playing the role from the ward level might affect negatively certain individuals. I don't want to mention names here now. It might affect negatively certain individuals. And I think the party will need to nip it in the bud. But can they? That is the question now.
Speaking of nipping it in the bud, just a couple of days ago, we saw a coalition of party members who came out and said there is no division in the state. They are all united on the front. They are all for the governor.
Let me ask you, do you think there is division in Edo State?
That's a question you should answer.
But you and I know that there is so much division in Edo State. Some forces don't want the governor to be, and some other forces want the governor to be. So, but at the end of the day, next year, 2020 will determine if the governor will have his way, or if Adams Oshomole will have his way. But at the end of the day, the party is going to suffer if they don't resolve the crisis, because in Edo State, not like other states, the PDP and the APC are almost at par. Look at the difference in the number of votes at the last election. There's no significant difference. So if you have the APC having this kind of crisis, they should just watch it, because the PDP is there. So it's not as if in a state where you have the APC having an overwhelming majority. No, it's not like that in Edo State. Edo State politics is so different. And I think it's high time those who are in charge of Nigeria, the leaders, should call both factions together and resolve this. But if you ask me, I feel every governor has the right to go for a second term. And I think the party should be able to entrench it, give him the right of first refusal if he wants to. Because even in the constitution permits you that you can go for a second term. If you want to, you give him. But to not say because somebody has done first 4 years and you want him out, is it the people that are asking him to leave? We must be able to situate that. Is it the people or the powers that be?
And should he be able to go for a party primary if that is the case?
So which kind of party primary? Is it a direct or the indirect now? Who is going to remote control the party primary? So at the end of the day, next year is going to be very, very critical in Edo State, because if your care is not taken, you might have violence. Unprecedented violence in
even within the same party.
Within the same party, and at the end of the day, PDP might just be there to reap the benefits of the crisis in APC.
All right, great way to end the discussion. Thank you so much, Shomomo Imodu. Thank you for your time with us. We look forward to having you again subsequently. So we'll take a break. When we come back, the next segment begins. Please stay with us.
You see,